Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Puspita Werdiningrat.
My name is Nabila Anisah and happy 2003. How Indonesia is ready to be free of masks?
Okay, let's talk about Indonesia is ready for mask free. Since March 2020, the case of the COVID-19 pandemic has always been a hot conversation in the community. Starting from the emergence of a virus in a city called Wuhan, China, which has now infected more than 20 million people in the world. According to the COVID.co.id homepage, there are more than 6 million people infected with the COVID-19 virus in Indonesia. A very fantastic figure to mention the number of patients. This situation forced every individual to be obliged to follow the health protocol that have been set by the government. However, over time the government has made a number of easing of health protocol in the traditional era of normal life after the COVID pandemic. In the last few days, has been a lot of discussion in the community and the pros and cons of Indonesia will be from the use of masks in 2022. The discourse emerged of the government relaxed during the trial period of the pandemic transition to endemic.
The government is made to get to the COVID-19 endemic situation. According to COVID-19 spokesperson for the Ministry of Health, Siti Nadia, before the endemic is reached, there are two phases that must be passed, namely the pandemic control phase and the pre-pandemic phase. During this control period, there are indicators that must be established and are still being discussed with express to ensure that Indonesia is on the right track to achieve endemic condition. Several things even been considered, including community transmission that is already at level 2. Then vaccination coverage of the last 17%. There are also indicators such as testing tracing according existing standard. In indication, the transmission rate is less than 1 in a certain period of time. According to the data from Ministry of Health, daily confinement case of COVID-19 continue the experience a downward trend, reaching 11,585 after previously being recorded 14,900. The Ministry of Health also note the on March 11 COVID-19 case in 13 provinces had decreased. The remaining 4 provinces still record an increase in case. The provinces are Aceh, North Kalimantan, Central Sulawesi, and East Nusa Tenggara.
Along with the decline in COVID cases in various provinces, the government has made a number of easing of health protocol, namely, number 1, elimination of negative condition for the coronavirus through PCR test and rapid antigen test. For domestic travel actor, either by land, sea, or air starting March 8, 2022 with condition valid for those who have received a full dose of COVID-19 vaccine or 2 doses and a booster. Number 2. The government also announced the quarantine period for the arrival of foreign travel actor, specifically for residents who have received the second or third doses of the coronavirus to be reduced with 24 hours. Number 3. The government have also carried out a trial to enter Bali free of quarantine for PPLNs who have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 as well as booster since March 7, 2022. As number 4, the government has also abolished the social distancing policy in KRL and MRT passenger seat.
Indonesian policy of being free of masks is still beyond discussion. Mask-free has the potential of endanger public safety. Data from COVID-19 handling task force show that the transmission of the coronavirus in Indonesia is still high. This can be seen from the daily case that still penetrate the 2000 marks of in day. The policy will also be able to increase the number of COVID-19 cases that have decreased. Then, for use easing for health protocol by the government cannot be carried outside simultaneously, especially regarding the use of masks. Said by the GRHA MM 2100 hospital nurse Muhammad Alpen. The use of masks in Indonesia is still very important. The use of mask can also prevent people from being exposed to the virus. Considering that the COVID-19 case in Indonesia is still dynamic. With this, it can be said that Indonesia is not ready to become a mask-free area.
The average test positivity rate in Indonesia has not yet reached endemic status. Epidemiologists from Australia's Griffith University, Vicky Budiman said, the change in status from a pandemic to an endemic must have a statement from to the World Health Organization or WHO. One of the reasons for the revocation of the pandemic status carried out by the WHO is that a third of the countries in the world have become endemic or have controlled COVID-19 cases. WHO will decide to revoke the pandemic status if many countries have entered the endemic category with a reproduction rate of not more than 1%. There are no positive cases of COVID-19 in a month and there are no deaths. If this possibility occurs, the WHO can revoke the pandemic status, replace it with a globally endemic status.
Presiden Joko Widodo has not authorized Indonesia can be free of masks, and globally Indonesia is still a pandemic status. Presiden Jokowi Widodo's statement announcing Indonesia will be free of masks is wrong. The fact is the original news video uploaded on the Kompas TV YouTube channel. The video is entitled Presiden Jokowi's complete statement regarding the KPK law, RKUHP, and energy demos. The conference of free masks is still a discourse so that the public should not take advantage of the condition for this, the engagement manual safety. If the mask free policy in Indonesia is to be released, the policy and can be started in state from area with the lowest COVID-19 case. Enough for us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.